Alrighty guys, welcome. As always, very good morning, a good afternoon, and a good evening. How are we, ladies and gents? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another week on the charts. So, big week. Going to be interesting to see what the market makes of all the news about obviously going on in the background. I mean, it's a fair bit. Excuse me. It's a fair bit going on at the moment, obviously with some wars about. There's obviously news with also the Japanese yen is just in a free fall. So that's interesting as well, because GJ has just retraced massive chunk of that big sell-off from Friday, and we're hovering back above that previous 4-hour support. So interesting to see what we've got moving forward. Just going to remove these drawings. I hope you guys all had a good weekend. Also, thank you to those of you who did watch the recap of that breakout trade on gold. If you have not done so, it's a really good one. Obviously, just gives you more confidence as to what to look for to actually execute upon the trade in your own time. So make sure to take a watch of that too. And yeah, in the meantime, guys, no rush today, obviously being a Monday. I can't see any possible I'm not interested in buying GJ just now, because to me it's just made a big push up, had very little exhaustion. I would have rather bought it if I was on the charts earlier today, which I was not. So it's all good. We will obviously do the analysis, see what we can come up with moving forward, and on gold as well, GU. And so without further ado, guys, once again, hit like button so we get more people on stream. It's good to see the numbers are growing. We've got the subscribers are growing very quickly. We're getting more views on the stream, or on the streams, more live views, more views away from it. So I appreciate the support. Alright guys, so let's start with GJ. And as we can see, look at that. So we're already hovering above the open of that previous candle, which ended up closing with a long wick rejection to the upside, closing a weak bearish candle. However, candles like so suggest to me that likely have grabbed liquidity. Where from? Obviously these wicks to the left hand side, which was price discovery only a few weeks back. We did reject last week, only to close back a weak bearish candle, obviously closer to our low than our high. Obviously did close back bearish. So usually when a candle closes like so, that would suggest to me, once again, we've grabbed liquidity from the upside. A new candle doesn't necessarily need to pull back all that far if it was to continue bearish. But what we've done, I know it's the first day of the week, but we've created a low already, and a pretty significant wick to the downside, and now we're moving to the upside. So just based off the current daily, like once you go down in daily, but if based off the daily, we'll go down daily now. This, we could look for potential pullback. So it's a little bit conflicting because the weekly, we could be just pulling back to create that upper wick to look for potential areas of rejection, which will be more evident once we go down to the 30-minute and the 4-hour time frames. However, with the daily respecting the low of the previous daily candle and forming a strong bullish candle as is, what we could also do within the current daily candle is make some pullbacks within it to previous levels of support to potentially form another support, head back up, and then create potentially a higher high. So a few things to consider off the higher time frames, just the way, especially the way the current daily candle is printing and the way the previous weekly candle ended up printing. So we are technically bullish low in structure on the daily. 4-hour remains bullish again from this big impulse to the upside. All this in between is just micro trend. We are, you could argue, bearish within the micro trend though, but once again, we've bounced off support here to the left hand side. It's been a strong bounce. We're hovering back above a previous support here from last Thursday. So the 4-hour looks like we've got potential to head up to around that 192.10 to 192.20 roughly. Probably will adjust that zone on once I go up down to the 30-minute time frame. Now I will mark in support at the lows for now, and I want to see what we've got in between. So obviously we're hovering just above the previous support on the 4 hour. A strong push off that the support to the downside around that 190 flat level onto the M30. All right, so I'm going to leave the zone to the downside. To the upside, I'm just going to drag this up, and what we can see is we're getting close to that 4 hour zone yet again around that 192.10. we keep breaking through the minor levels of resistance that we formed on the way down. I have no respect for those levels. We've got another level we're approaching just now, so I'm going to mark that in and change it to blue. It's a 30 minutes resistance. So for the time being, and within the current daily candle, we've got obviously support formed around that just below 191.50. So my plan for today on GJ is, with so far, so the bias is technically neutral with the weekly and the 30-minute being bearish. Look for either options. What at this stage I am likely to do, 4 hours also bearish, wasn't it? No, it's bullish. Apologies. What I'm likely to do is, now I'm not going to chase it because it's made a pretty push up. There's not much margin to the next minor resistance. Still very early in the day. So what I want to see is how price reacts to that 191.850 so level 870. We begin to pop below it and start maybe even popping below at 191.80. I'll eventually get there, guys. Then we could have options to start selling it back down. So I like to see it pull up, reject, maybe if it can form a minor support, and as we begin to break below that minor support, we could be pulling back down to retest the support formed a little bit lower down within the current daily candle around that 191.50, and that could be a potential option to sell it back down to that level. Now, so I'm just going to put sells from below. Further sell options too, guys. Seeing we have formed support in the current daily candle at around that 191.50, a psychological number, we are to continue bullish. We should not begin to pop below it, and as soon as we do start to close below it, now I think there's a high probability at that point there we may be turning back over and heading back down within the current daily candle. Could possibly be the high point of the weekly candle, may not be, but it could possibly be. So if we start to pop below support at that level 191.50, I will look for my potential sell options to take it back down in line with that previous weekly candle and in line with the M30 structure. So there are the sell options, guys. Now, as I mentioned before, within the current daily candle, we've created a nice move. We are forming strong bullish. So now I'm looking at the 30-minute time frame, and I'm saying to myself, where could we potentially pull back to within this candle, form a support, and head up in line with the direction and the strength of the current daily candle, which is obviously strong bullish. So obviously I've got the first level here that I just mentioned for those sells below. So if we pull back to 191.50 and I get my calcium in price action from that level there, likely going to have the margin if we make the clean move down to that point and form that support above that level to take it back up towards the current daily candle size. So be good to see a bit of exhaustion, a bit of a pullback, and then triggering more orders, form support, and then what likely we'll do if we are to retest the current daily candle high, we're likely to push even further and create a higher high within the current daily candle. Next destination will be that 192.10 sort of level, which is that 4 hour resistance to the left hand side. So definitely consider buy options from back above. Really want it to be back above 191.50. So buys above, sells below. You guys get the drift. So the buy options, look, depends. If we start to pop above 190, so what I want to see is price maybe pull up to 191.850 and reject, create a higher low, then start to pop above, because at that point there we'll grab some more liquidity from the market. We've triggered in some sells only to wipe them out as soon as we begin to pop above and close above that 191.90 sort of level. And at that point there, as we begin to pull away from that zone, could be potential buyers to take it up to the 4 hour resistance. So I would consider that an option as well. I'm just going to put it in. And I think that is pretty much it on GJ for today, guys. So hopefully that makes sense. Just now waiting for it to see how it reacts to 191.850 if we do end up reaching that level. And in the meantime, make sure to hit the like button. Let me know if it makes sense. And I'll move over on to have a look at gold. All right, before we look at gold, let's have a look at what we've got in the news moving forward today. So there's obviously some red follow news to come for the New York session, which is as per usual. Core retail sales and retail sales. So one includes everything, the other excludes the automobile sector. So obviously the core retail sales, the forecast is to be greater than the previous. So that is deemed good for a currency. Obviously it's good for an economy. If there are more sales with it, more money is floating around. But hence, on the other hand, if there is more money about, more people spending, that could lead to higher inflation yet again, or could mean that inflation is not going to slow down anytime soon, which once again will mean not going to be any rush to cut interest rates. So again, that is good for a currency strength. So therefore, I feel the US dollar could be continuing on its merry way from Friday. So well, interesting to see what happens out of that. Just keep an eye on that. That is 30 minutes into MY session for today. And now we can move on to have a look at gold. Alrighty, guys. So onto gold. Now, onto the higher time frame. Is this our first potential sign of rejection? We obviously closed, the weakest candle we closed in quite some time with a long wick to the upside. Current candles just pop straight to the upside. I'm just going to mark in a low of the current weekly, daily, and see what we've got below that level. So we are weak bullish once again. Candles like so suggest to me we've grabbed liquidity, and if we begin to break below, we're likely going to make a deeper pullback. Now onto the daily time frame, where we are still technically bullish. Obviously that previous daily closed back bearish for that long rejection wick. Current candles pull back to a level that I would normally see it pull back to if we were to continue bearish, and it's so far rejected the open of that previous candle. It's formed a resistance at that level. So once again, if we begin to break below the current daily candle's low, create that lower wick, would be potential options to take a sell based off that. Looking at the 4 hour, we are approaching a support on the 4 hour. The structure wise, we remain bullish. Very little volume right now. A little bit surprised to me. I also thought there might be a little bit more about considering the events over the weekend. But we are technically bullish. An inside bar candle, I suppose probably what you call it, on the 4 hour, the previous candle, very low volume, close with a high, low, lower high. Current candle has created its lower wick and is beginning to pull back up. So we are obviously, I'm going to draw in some levels, and this is going to be a big zone. I'm probably going to adjust it, to be honest, on the M30, so I think if I've got some clean traffic within. As for support at this stage, I'm just going to mark in these lows. I know we've got support at the current daily candles low. Just see what it looks like on the 30-minute time frame. All right. So that's the open. Just gonna use that as the 4 hour support. All right. So obviously, if we begin to pop below and create that lower wick on the current daily, we're running into support, and it's 4 hour support. So probably not the best spot to start to plan and anticipate potential sell options. The 30-minute structure is technically bearish, so therefore the bias is still to the upside. However, the 30-minute structure being bearish, the strength of that previous daily candle, long rejection of the weekly candle, I could look for both the sell and buy options. Now what I'm just going to do is I will neaten this up because we do have some very clean traffic, and what I'm going to do is mark in a level just so I know it's the start of the 4 hour zone, and I'll use that 2400 level. I know at that point there it's basically start that 4 hour zone, but it is clean traffic to the left, so it is a potential level that price could reject if we do pull back up to that 2400 sort of level. Now the buy options for me on gold today, so within the current daily candle at a time we formed a resistance. So those of you who know what I'm about to say, must have probably been here for supporting me for a while, because what should happen is, seeing that's the high of the daily candle, form resistance at that high, we are to continue bearish. We should just reject that level and begin to head back down towards the current daily candle's low. We have the volume momentum potentially head down even further. Now, seeing we've got that level in, if we begin to pop above it, close above it, we have some clean traffic to the left hand side. We know the bias is technically bullish. We know we've bounced off a 4-hour support to the left hand side here. Could be creating that higher high within a micro trend, and in that case I would look for potential buy options above that 23.66 roughly, just to round it up. That is where I'd be looking for that potential buy. Now further buy options, obviously price does pop back down to the 4-hour support, flip the current daily candle bearish, create that lower wick, we bounce off the 4-hour support, gonna pop back above it, then I'd be looking for my buy options from lower down. So just going to remove that horizontal, the daily low. I'm going to mark in buys above the 4-hour zone. Now as for the sells, obviously like I mentioned before, if we were to continue bearish, you should respect the current daily candle's high. If that is to be the case and we pop back up only to reject, then I would definitely be interested in selling it back down towards the current daily candle's low. Further sell options, potentially we begin to pop above that 23.66 level, create an impulse to the upside, gives us our signals moving price action a little bit higher up, such as a little bit of structure forming where we create a high, a low, maybe a lower high, lower low, that type of scenario, and then we could potentially look for a sell to take it back down. Where I'd be looking for pullbacks too, if that is to be the case, if we do get the buy option, or even if it just flies without us. Obviously we've got levels here to the left that I would be looking for price to see how price reacts to around that 23.72 and 23.84 sort of level. I'll just remove them for the time being. So that is gold for me. I'd probably just rather wait to see how price reacts to that 23.65 sort of level at this stage. Not going to be much in between. We've got at the current level, we're running straight into another support. Potentially, look, could be a sneaky little trade within this area. There's 30-minute support. It's also current daily candles low, pretty sure. No, not quite. As I mentioned before, has no low wick. But if we do begin to break that level anyway, 23.48.40 roughly, we're likely going to come back down to create that low wick. So potential sells below that point there, but it will have to be absolutely perfect, because likely what it's going to do is just, if it begins to drop below that level, it could just make the move within that same candle and head back down to create that low wick on the daily time frame. So just going to need to sell, get rid of that for the time being. So that is GJ, that is gold. Of the two, which I prefer right now? Probably GJ, but after, obviously I could change soon, so just see what happens. Alrighty guys, in the meantime I will say g'day, and then I'll go on to take a look at GU. Should be able to knock that off within the 5 minutes, and then move on to NAS. All right, Steve, good morning to you, my friend. I hope you had a good weekend, and to you too, Archard. Hope you're well, brother. Sharif, as always, hands merc. Movement off GJ might also be the same with DJ. It is identical, to be honest. I was looking at it before. Very similar. You probably get confused had you not known which one you're on. You've forgotten that you're on EJ without obviously the watermark there, because they do look very similar. So I'll be looking at very similar analysis on both, to be honest. Hey, like the stream, yep, that'd be fantastic. God, what's wrong with me today? As Merc, EU updates. EU is not really moving, to be honest. Massive sell-off, obviously, from last Friday, as was the case with pretty much all the majors. So EU, I'd rather sell it. Just again, upon a pullback, there is very little data, obviously, to go off just now within the current weekly count, current daily, weekly. EU, I think it's just a matter of waiting for rejection of the previous zones of support. I had a level just marked in, 4-hour level, which pretty much lines up with this. Just there, price rejects it, and I look to sell. If we start to pop above it, then maybe we're bouncing off a zone to the left. I think it pretty much tapped in. It's tapped into all this to the left hand side. It's bouncing off it. So if we begin to pop above that 106,650, then close above, tap in, and reject. Could be options for the buys. Otherwise, I'd be all about the sells. Further sells from upon pullback at 106,840 roughly. Yeah, I'd prefer to sells on EU. All right, onto GU, guys. Very similar to EU. GU, obviously massive sell-off. Weekly close back strong, bearish. Look at that. So below the previous weekly candle, this thing could really begin to melt. Lots of clean space below. Looking at the daily structure is now, it is technically bearish. Once again, current candle pulling back. Where could we potentially pull back to? Well, we could use the fib in this case, marking the 50% of that previous candle. Does it line up with a little to the left? Yes, it does. It lines up with this 4-hour support to the left hand side. So I'd just be marking 50%. And what I'd be looking for is price to could potentially pull back to that level to grab some liquidity within the current weekly, daily, before it may reject to head back down. Looking at the 4-hour, obviously we've just created support at the lows. Created a resistance a little bit higher up. Now, good mark in that area. So we're pretty much within this area just now. So what I'd be doing is marking this area to the left because it lines up to 50. What is going on here? Sorry guys, let me zone in up. Zoom in on. All right, so it pretty much lines up with 50. It's just a bit above it. What I would say on GU is, based off that, we'll quickly go down to the 30-minute. All right, I'd be looking for zones of potential rejection. So you got this level here, 120, 1.24775, just below 124.80 level. That is my first potential level to look for price to pull back to, reject, to take the sell back down in line with that previous daily candle. That could be the upward form within for the weekly, for the daily. So I'd be looking for my sells from that level there. Change that to blue. Aside from that, it is pretty clean above that level. So if we begin to pop above it, we're forming a bit of structure within the micro trend, bouncing off this 4-hour support. Got the 4-hour closing back, 4-hour candles closing back bullish. So you got that is at a confluence, higher highs, higher lows. With the volume that should be coming in, likely to be coming in around that pre-London Open. If price begins to pop above that level, get the pullback to tap in and begin to reject and pull away from it. I will look for a cheeky counter trend buy from that 1.24775 above that level. In anticipation, it's going to make a deeper correction to retest that 125 flat psychological round number and potentially reject to look for the sells, and that could be the upper wick form within the weekly / daily candle. Once again, that pretty much lines up with 50% that previous daily candle. So sells below that level there. And that is pretty much what I'd be looking at on GU, guys. Hopefully that makes sense. Sells below, potential buys above. Also, obviously sells below if we pull up now, make a clear move up to 124.750, only to reject. I'd be looking for my catalyst within price action at that point to take sell. Once again, that could be the highest point of the daily and weekly, potentially. Maybe we won't know, obviously. It's still very early into the week. But potentially, so we'll see how price reacts to that level. DJ hasn't quite tapped in. At a gold close, gold right in the middle of this consolidation. So at this stage, GJ looks a bit better. And I will now move on to have a look at NAS. And then I will answer your questions, guys. So NAS, there's a big sell-off in stocks, obviously. Unfortunately, not so much so on some of the ones that I've been keeping an eye on. But nonetheless, Nasdaq made a pretty significant pullback. Only to a support though, and it's since bounced off it. But anyway, let's start at the weekly. So we've had consecutive 3 candles now closing back bearish. Difference though with the previous one is, you guys can probably tell right now, it has it didn't create a lower low. Got a lower high, yet didn't create a lower low. Open the gap to the downside of the current candle. So based off that, we are still a weak bearish candle, still respecting support here to the left. So if we start closing the daily candles back bullish, maybe today's candle, once again, we could be forming support to head back up to retest the all-time highs, especially if the back of some of the news from the weekend that maybe they've played it down a little bit from what I've been listening to. That may not be, I mean, it may not go to war or anything. It might not be a full spread war, which is obviously good. So therefore, people have more confidence in the market, and obviously that means stocks will continue on their merry way as they have been prior to all the news. Once again though, looking at the daily, technically bullish, bouncing off support to the left hand side. Very difficult to know what to make of that. You could also mark in a fib on this one, just see what it lines up with around that 50%. The reason why I mark it in, guys, is because if we pop above that level, that's when I start to become more confident. Maybe the buyers are more present within the current daily candle and maybe in control once again of the market. So if we reject that level, then I'm still confident sellers are there, and we could push this thing back down in line with the previous candle. Our structure remains technically bearish from this big move. Yep, flip the structure. No, yep, bearish. So we've got bullish on the daily, bearish weekly, bearish 4 hour. Bouncing off the support though. It's so range bound this on NAS lately. It's literally just out at the lows, bouncing off the lows and rejecting the highs. So I'm just gonna change that to gray, seeing it's a 4 hour zone. Price is approaching, or pretty much at a previous support here to the left hand side. We'll see what it looks like on the money time frame. As for the 4 hour resistance, I'm just going to mark in a highs now on CDM 30. All right, you can see, I mean, you can even pull up the line chart just to make it so you can be able to distinguish more. You're at a very key look at that. You're literally tapping into it now. So kind of want to draw in a zone, probably connect it from high of that candle there to probably that point there. Let's see what it looks like on the candle charts, because that will incorporate most of these levels to the left hand side. We were to just let me do it again. We were just to drag that across, remove the magnet tool, see it taps into all those levels. So it's a very significant level just now on NAS. All right, so seeing we're at it, if we begin to pop above it now, I think it's likely we're going to retest towards that. We'll retrace towards the 50% in that previous daily candle. But seeing if we are at that level, if we do begin to reject it, have we got support? We have on the 15-minute. So say it all the time, wouldn't be trading as of this time of day. But if this candle starts to close below the support formed around this level here, based off the 15, I would prefer for it to be a 30-minute closure below. So if this candle rejected now and closed back bearish engulfing, then I think it's definitely going to come down. The issue is there's not a great deal of margin to the next support. You've got support pretty much here around 1870, a little bit higher up. It could even reject 1880 in my opinion. But as for a first potential sell point, I think that would be it. Now further sells, what I would say is perform support within the current daily candle at that 1855 level. We want to continue bullish. We should come back down, respect it. We are technically bearish on the M30. The bias is technically bearish, but I just trade it range bound, because that point there, the micro trend, we create an equal low. We could potentially just pull back to grab some more orders, pull back to head back up to retest the current daily candles high, and then potentially create a high once again within the micro trend and the current daily candle. So buys above that support there for me would be definitely something I'd be keeping an eye on. I'm also closer to NY Open. Sells below that level. Change it to blue. And obviously buys from lower down. Potential buys, we start popping back above all this shit to the left hand side. Like I mentioned from the line chart, there's no harm going down to the line chart when you know, I mean, looking at the 4 hour, you could just draw in obviously resistance at high, but if you're looking to the left hand side, you can see you're at a pretty strong level. So it doesn't hurt to go down to the line chart just to gather some more information and maybe use it to mark in some zones, because we can see we're currently rejecting that level there. So buys above it, but what I want to see, guys, not just one closure above it. I want to see that pullback just now. If it did pull back, or if it just pops above, makes a first little move to the upside, rejects, then what I want to see is price form as support above that 18,112 to look for my potential catalyst to take it up towards the 50% of that previous daily candle / weekly, also daily. So potential buys above, guys. Want to see a bit of exhaustion prior to it though, so potentially this is forming it just now. We have one candle pulling back at that resistance, so if we begin to pop above it, engulf it, then that could be the other option, guys. If this next candle was this bullish engulfing back above it, then we've triggered in sells at that point. If we were to continue bearish, we'd have no need to pop back above that level, let alone close above it on an M30 time frame. Possibly M15, NAS, that's something I'm looking at. I think M15 will often give you your signal within price action. So that is NAS, guys. So that's all. Hopefully that makes sense. Makes sense. Nice one, Sharif. Thank you. Astral Effects, good day to you. Let me have a look. Good morning to you, Franco. Hope you're well, brother. GJ, so what we're looking at, so we're in a trade. I mean, nice one. So now what you're looking for, pull back to that zone yet again, or what's the plan? But yeah, but nice move. I mean, I remember you posting a chart in. You sent me a chart. When was it? Last Friday or Thursday stream. So well done. Josh, more to you. Just hit the like button, guys. We've got 26 on stream, only 11 likes, so I appreciate it. It just gets it out there, guys. Again, I'm a new channel. A lot of you know me already from another stream, previous stream, but I'm off on my own these days. So the only way to get more people on is if you guys hit the likes, make sure, or you let others know that I am around. And yeah, that's how we build this community, and then that's how the Discord will get started too. So more in it for you guys. Sean, good day to you. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good weekend. So it's good to see you, my friend. Been a while. Sad to hear over the weekend, obviously, what happened up in Sydney, your neck of the woods, my friend. I suppose pretty much everyone knows of it now. We're very sad to hear some of the stories out of it. It is absolutely frightening. Very terrible. It just puts things into perspective when you have a loss in a trade. I know some people can't handle the emotion. For me, it's part of it. I had something happen on Friday. It's all part of things. It just, I mean, when you put things into perspective, it's nothing in comparison to what some other people go through. Try to join for a bit. All good, my friend. Josh, no. Sure, what happened? Just it was an unfortunate event in a Bondi shopping center. Some nutcase went around with a knife, and he basically stabbed, I think it was 5 or 6 people. And he he actually stabbed a baby, but I don't think the baby survived. So yeah, so very unfortunate. Gerald, does DJ and UJ move together? Not necessarily. To be honest, most of the majors will move similar, in a similar fashion. So obviously UJ, if there's strength in US dollar, UJ will be going up. GU, AU, EU will be going down, obviously, because they're all moving in unison with the US dollar. GJ and GU, I used to trade them both, and just everyone says they move the same, but they don't, honestly. And it sometimes put me off a trade because one will be dropping, the other will be going up, and well, it's probably not probably best to ditch one. But they don't always correlate. Sugar Bear, all good. Not afraid of no ghost, as Ghostbusters used to say. Josh, oh shit, I remember this occurred and woman officer stopped it. Yeah, shot the guy dead. Quit here. YTA orders are not filled on EU on MT5. Not filled on, that's no idea. It could be your terminal. Have you got issues with your server? I don't know. It could be, sometimes it's a real simple fix. Switch off, my friend, and switch back on. I don't think I've got any issues. I don't trade you on my personal account. But yeah, Josh, broker issue, likely. Yeah, I mean, EU has been in a massive free fall. I think things could be a little bit quiet until, as far as the majors anyway, until closer to core to retail sales and core retail sales. Could be some minor pullbacks, but I mean, if it comes out as expected, then more strength to the US dollar. That's core retail. The retail sales itself, on the other hand, is forecast to come out as less than the previous. So it could be a bit of a mixed bag. What else we got moving forward this week? So tomorrow, every time there's red follow news for the pound, I can't be on just for the actual release of news. Tomorrow I'll be starting to stream at about 30 minutes prior to London Open. So unfortunately I won't be on for the actual news, but hopefully it will filter through, and then maybe in London session we get a bit of volume. Wednesday we have, obviously, with the Fed chair speaking, so that's going to be a big one. And also you got the Bank of England speaking as well, pretty much the same time. So I wonder if they'll come up with the same sort of thing. CPI on Wednesday for the pound, I'll be on for that. I have to make a new thumbnail for that. So we're looking forward to that event. Hopefully shake markets up a little bit. Then we've got Thursday with, again, another speech. So it's actually Wednesday, sorry, but Thursday, technically my time, with the Bank of England speaking once again. Unemployment claims, unemployment rate and change for the Aussie. And then obviously unemployment claims is a big one as well for the US dollar. And then Friday, retail sales for the pound, which once again, unfortunately I won't be on stream for that, but I'll be on it just a little bit later. So quite a bit of news about, as per usual. Sugar Bear, you think Euro USD going back for a retrace? I think it could retrace, but very bearish on it right now. Extremely bearish on it right now. But it's important not to be fixated on a bias, guys. Plan for both. So having said that, I'm bearish doesn't mean I'm not considering, I wouldn't consider buys above that level there, because the micro trend's bullish. You've got 4-hour counter probabilities on your side, bouncing off a 4-hour level to the left hand side. all this to the left. So it's best to have a plan for both. I think in the past, even myself, I may have been too fixated on a bias and missed out on many moves just by focusing on one direction. So if the option presented, I get a nice close above that 106.650 roughly. Do have some clean traffic to the left. I feel that point there, it's going to make a deeper pullback, probably enough to get some pips in the meantime before looking for that potential sell option higher up. And at this stage, guys, GJ, I'm looking for buys. I need pullbacks. At a little bit in the 15. Not quite significant enough though. So we just, no stress, no hurries, guys. We'll just wait patiently. Sharif, waiting for it setup is the hardest. Yeah, look, not for me, but I know what you mean. It is a challenge and a struggle for most traders, because the majority, and I'm sure there's some of you in the chat right now who can't just, you can't sit here for 2-3 hours without taking a trade. You can't do it. You get itchy fingers or whatever. You have no control over it. Whereas for me, I wait for simply my setup to play out. If it does, fantastic. If not, I sit patiently and wait. Come back the next day. Leon B, good morning, happy week to you. Leon, I hope you had a look or had a chance to have a look at the scalpers guide I sent you, the PDF. Yeah, hopefully you can make some use out of it. So obviously Leon was the winner of the giveaway from Friday. Sean, can I ask you a question? I was going to ask you last week, but kept waking up too late. All good. Good here. It's working on demo, but not on real. That is really strange. Are you sure you've got what's your broker? Because there's a few different symbols for the same pair, if that makes sense. Like I know IC markets, you got the raw spread account, and then you got your standard account. The raw spread account, you're looking for EURUSD A.A. So if you're not on that actual symbol, if you're on just on EURUSD, and it's not, obviously you're on a raw spread account, you won't be able to open a trade. It could be as simple as that, I'm not sure. But again, stupid questions, my friend. I'm not taking you for a fool. But sometimes it's really simple things like that. I've done it. I did it not recently. I honestly. Just ask Ben. I had a similar problem, couldn't figure out what I was doing, and then, ah, shit, I know what I've done wrong. Took me about 3-4 days to figure it out. Sean, the question was going to be, what do you do after news, I think you mean news. How do you read and trade the market after news? I never know if it's going to continue with directional news or pull back and reverse. I just wait for confirmations, man. That's all. Simple. This is, again, bro, it just comes down to your plan for today, and if price is at the level you want to get involved in a potential trade. See, that's the thing. I don't stress it. I have my plan. I stick to it. I wait for price to get to those levels, then I wait for my catalyst to occur if and when it does, and only if and when it does, then I execute a trade. So sometimes I think a lot of you see the movement from the news and you're probably panicking, think, oh fuck, I want to get involved. How can I get involved? And then you get destroyed because maybe the news might just whipsaw up, down, and it's back where it started again. It may give price a push to a level that you want to get involved in a trade. For instance, let's just say GJ blew up to this point here, and I know I want rejection from that point there. It may start to give my catalyst within price action. Perfect. But I just wait. That's all I do. Because no one knows. No one knows if it's going to be a sustained move or if it's going to pull back. No one has a crystal ball. If it was that easy, we'd all be millionaires. Leon, excellent book. Thank you. Appreciate it. Put a lot of time and effort into it. Decide I'm going to change one or two of the videos. I think the breakout needs to be changed after the trade recap this week. I think the trade recap was a better video than the breakout video I've got in the scalpers manual. Sean, so you just continue exactly 100%. That's what I do. Continue as normal. Wait for price to get to my levels and wait for my confirmation. Have we tapped in now on GJ? Not quite. Not quite. All right, we got what, 8.5, no, a bit more, 8 minutes and 50 seconds left. Form to support now near this resistance. What do I need to see for a sell? I want to see a very, I want to see a bearish candle closure right now, long wick to the upside, because what that's going to give us is a closure. It may not necessarily engulf this bullish candle, but let's just say it closes a little bit lower down. Thank you for the sub. I don't have the Zoom call running right now, so it's hard to annotate, but let's just say it closes below the body of the candle to the left. Going back to the M30, it means it's going to close a weak bearish candle for long wick to the upside. Would be potential entries as price begins to break below this candle's low in anticipation is going to make that pullback yet again, potentially that 190-150. So that's probably what I want to see just now. I want to see this candle closing back, a bearish candle closing well below the body of this 15-minute candle, and I may contemplate an early sell on GJ. Seeing it is Monday, seeing we are yet to move into London session, it will be a small entry. But that's ideally what I want to see just now. We could still tap into that level. It's not a real significant level, but we've yet to really do so anyway. Tap into it. Gold, nothing. So focus definitely on GJ for the time being. I used to be the same, sure, man. If I saw shit go nuts at the news, I was like a lot of people out there, had to get involved. Well, thought I was a champion some days, and the other days was depressed as anything. So again, it's all about controlling your emotions and just having discipline in the markets. That's what it is, and that's what has been a massive game changer. Can't stress it enough. Now, I'll come to the charts. I'm chilled. I really am chilled. I can take a loss. I know it's always going to be a managed loss. It's not an issue. Always get back on top eventually. All right, I might open a Zoom. Just quickly, while there's a few on stream. Again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. I did notice from the analytics from the trade recap video that 30% have not subscribed, 30% of viewers. So yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It's for free. All right, just signing it up. All right, so I'm seeing the link in. If anyone wants to join, you're welcome. Ask questions. Deal is, if you join, you have to watch on YouTube on one device. Please do so, guys. I don't want to lose 5 viewers or whatever, 10 viewers, because that's a fair chunk of percentage wise of the guys on the stream. So make sure you're still watching in the YouTube as well. Yeah, but if you want to jump on and ask a question, feel free. Sean, if a trade come up for you and I want to go in on it with you, I will put a limit order this time. Oh no, it's not at a level for me for that. You're talking about a sell on GJ. For me, it's not valid on that little setup, to be honest. It's valid up here before our resistance. But right now, I'll just let it do its thing. See if we begin to reject. We pop above. Look, if it was London open, it could be buy options, but it's not quite. So still haven't really had much of a pullback. Pong, buy or sell, and right now nothing for me. It's not always a trade. As mentioned, good day to you. Sean, yeah, as I didn't put one in last time and got in too late. Has it done it manually? Oh, you're talking about gold buy stop. And once again, also, if it's in line with your analysis, by all means, go for it, take a trade. But if you guys are coming on here and seeing, oh shit, he's in a trade or whatever, don't just jump in. Need to make sure it ticks the box for you. And you could also be getting way too late at that point. Because that gold trade, no shit, on Friday, took all of, I think, if you count it, the replay, I think it was like 3 seconds for it to hit TP. It just shot straight up and then popped pretty much straight back down very quickly. So that's why it's good to have an EA toolkit to manage trades. All right, GJ, done a pop above. All right, because it is now moving. Or what I want to see to trust the buyer, probably want to see at least a 5-minute candle closing back bearish above this zone, and then look for potential entry upon continuation. That's what I want to see. This is our first closure above that zone, so we pretty much had no respect for some of these zones to the left hand side. So now if we get a closure above, I see one candle closing back bearish, maybe an EM5, and then look for possible entries on continuation of break of the high of the current candle. So we'll see. 50 seconds to wait. Sean, UJ's been flying up. Yeah, it has. It's been at levels that it hasn't been at for 30 odd years, I think it was. So I think eventually the Bank of Japan are going to have to intervene. It's, their currency is just in this free fall. Sheriff, strong continuation, and we're not you're not expecting some kind of support before. Yeah, like I said, if I have a 5-minute closing back bearish and begin to break it, at least we've closed above that level now. Had a retest to pull back. Not going to look for the limit order just now. So that's why I'm going to look for a 5-minute closing back bearish. And then I might look for a continuation buy. I've had some sort of exhaustion, but albeit it's just on 15. We've yet to tap into that level. Preferably I want it to tap in, but it could just go. but it's all good. Goes, it goes. Not chasing it without what I want to see happen. Be really nice if it does, because then what would have happened is the new candle spent the best part of 5 minutes creating slow wick. When I see it tap into this level, then I'll look to buy it as next, if it happens, if it eventuates, as the next candle begins to break the high of what is the current candle. Want to see a retest of that zone. So we've got the retest, that's good. Not interested in the limit order once again, because we just pulled too far. When I actually pull off and start to break above yet again to give me the confidence. So one is the limit order I'm taking in anticipation that's just going to tap in and bounce off it, but because it's moved so far, I'd rather wait for the actual confirmation of the tap in and we remain above it, and then start to pull away from that level, close, moving back above it on the next 5 minute candle. That will make me more comfortable in this trade. Sean, your stop loss being in candle low, last M30. It's going to, hold on, let me do that properly. Yeah, likely it'll be about 23, 24 pips. Spreads are a bit wider today too on IC markets. So again, I'm not setting any order just yet, but I'm waiting for this candle to close back bearish, close above this zone, and now I'm going to be looking for a potential buy at 191,957. So I'll put the order up there once this candle closes, once I set it. It's Marcus. Which pair is this? GJ. Sharif was the pullback, more than 50%. Yep. And we're form support above it already here, I think. Good thing is there's also going to be ways to manage this trade. So 15 seconds, if it flips now, I'm not in it. That's how strict I am. I'm waiting. Alright, got the closure. Oh, it's closed right at it. So I've set the order. Five, 7. Stop loss is below the M30, previous M30, which is a little bit lower down. Let me go back. That's what I'm currently looking at. And if we start to close back below this blue zone, I'm going to remove it. Even on the 5 minute. So not in nothing just yet, guys. Let me remove last week's trade. I haven't done so yet. Drift, thanks for the summary video over the weekend. My pleasure. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Yeah, I'm busy over the weekend, so I'm making my own thumbnail. I'm doing my own editing, everything, so putting the effort. So I appreciate the fact that you guys appreciate it. Alright, I'm likely going to remove it in a second, guys. See, that's why I didn't want the limit order in this case, because we're so far run up. I'd feel more comfortable if it actually retested it and then pull back, as opposed to getting in on that retest in anticipation of bounce off it. So, I mean, in that case, for instance, if you had an order here, that would have worked. But at that point there, price hadn't moved as far. Still made a significant push, but this is even more higher up. So if you had a closure above there, then it never would trigger me in either way. But if I was looking for the limit order at that level there, it would have made more sense. I would have been more comfortable with that. But seeing we're higher up, I'm not prepared to take that option. Alright, so I'm waiting 1 more minute patiently, and if this does close as is, I'm going to remove the order. And that's it. Just set rules, guys, and follow them. Sean had a barbecue this weekend, so nice one. Cracking day here in Melbourne. Oof, absolute stunner. About 22 degrees and sunshine, I think it is. Still a bit cold for me though. Still obviously in a hoodie. Alright, I'm gonna remove it, guys. It's not gonna close back above. Well, hold on. Let's see, 10 seconds is gonna actually close back in that blue zone. Doesn't auto removed. No, it's not going to. Alright, I'm gonna remove it. And just wait. G-Day is quite a put. It is. Are we going to get rejection? And where? Could this potentially be a level? Maybe. We are back to shit in UK. Doom and gloom, cold. Poor guy. Alrighty, guys. I will be back in a minute or two, a few minutes. I need to quickly go and do something before I forget. Stick around. I'll be right back. Be back shortly. Alrighty guys, I am back. What did I miss? DJ, not a lot. Alright, so still sells in my opinion below support at this stage. We'd still have potential buys at the open. Just need to wait now and see where we start, where we close. We start to close back above. So the 15 has now closed back bearish. Or literally just now. The next candle closes back above this zone. London open, I'm just going to wait for a bit of a lower wick and then look for a potential buy as we begin to break above what will be the previous M30, which is the current M30. Sells, I want it to start popping below support the 15. And we could have options. So we'll just wait another 15 minutes and see where we're at. Let's quickly look at gold. And yeah, gold is just shit house, nothing at the moment. It's an inside buy 15 minute for GJ. Well, not really, because it did create a higher high. So if the 30 closes bearish, then what we're going to have is obviously a rejection. The new candle creates up, we can begins to break. It's got a lower high, lower low. Just concerned by his 15-minute support, so therefore that's why I want to see the 30-minute at least close below 191.760. It's not going to quite engulf, but it's a strong closure, and we're below that, starting to pop below 15 support. So that would be my conditions right now. We'll just wait and see. And a cracking leg workout today. Wobbling around like jelly afterwards with the legs. So it's hard to even drive a car back. See if we can get those likes up to the same amount as current viewers. Alright, so NAS has popped above. Very similar to NAS as GJ right now. Difference is NAS remains above this support. Still at over resistance on 15. And the M30. Yeah, I think NAS is very similar sort of circumstance to GJ right now. From 15 can close the opposite to GJ. GJ, I'm looking for nice closures below support. If it closes above the most recent resistance on the previous candle, I think it could be ready to continue up. Gonna have consecutive bullish candles closing bullish with long wicks to the downside. likely grabbing liquidity. As soon as it begins to break above this counter high, it's now pop above the wicks to the left, likely to continue. But once again, would not personally trade it right now. All eyes on GJ. About you guys, anyone else looking at any other pair right now around London Open? Any ideas for London Open? If so, feel free to share those. Send them in. Send me a chart if you like. You guys know my plan. It's just wait on GJ. A shake, buy or sell. I mean, I just asked, what do you think? For me, I've told you my plan. It's right now I'm waiting for London Open. I'm waiting for this counter to close. Closes above this blue resistance. Remain above. We're gonna have a weak closure, weak bearish counter closure in M30, pulling back into this range below and only rejecting. Only to reject. So that could be our liquidity grab before we are to continue bullish. So that could be the buy option. So it sells and once close below this horizontal, because at that point they start to get some closures below 15-minute bodies of the candles. So that could be enough for me to suggest that we're going to make a further pullback to the downside. That's my plan. Robin Hood, I am fine. How are you? 8 minutes until the open. Sean, does Tom not come anymore? Is it Tom, his name? Tommy? Tommy and James? They're probably busy. I know Tommy also works, so it's probably a little bit busy. James, I'm not sure what James is up to be honest. He could just be having some sleep-ins of late, for all I know. Steve, just on as mate, it's doing its 5-minute barcode for London Open, then I'm hoping for a drive up after breaking co. Yep. Let me see in a 5 minute. Yep. Could be an option. So it's forming support above that level I had marked in. Trying to. What I'd probably rather wait for is a nice closure above it out of this consolidation. But let's go through the time frames. I mean, if this candle closes back, maybe like even a doji, then that's a pause in price action. So if we are to continue bearish, should just break the low and continue back down. If we are to continue bullish, and we should create that high low high high and likely continue to the upside. So I think it just depends on the closure. You may want to wait for a 5 minutes to start pulling away from this bearish candle's high. Yeah, I think if it does break this candle's high though, it likely will continue. But if it closes a little bit lower down, I probably wouldn't even bother with it for now. I wouldn't bother it personally, to be honest. But all good. So obviously it's your call. Like a week or so. Not sure, man. I did have a brief, well, not much of a chat, just message on IG and didn't mention anything. So I think he's still around. Romu, can I know your RR, accuracy and amount of trades per day? My risk to reward, I don't really worry about that, to be honest. I always manage my trades. You guys who follow me since the old stream know I'm a king at trade management. I love managing my trades. Focus on GJ. Risk, yeah, so risk to reward, look, I need to have margin to at least get to break even around that 10 pips or so, start securing. I don't, having said that, I don't want to, especially on GJ, I don't want to stop loss of like 30 plus pips if I'm going to consider securing at 10. I trade fixed lots though, so it's a different story. Again, most of my trades end up in maybe like less than 0.5% loss if on the losing side, and the winners always outweigh the losses. Amount of trades per day, look, depends. I mean, last week on stream I had a day where I took 2 trades. I had a day I took 2 days, I think I took 1 trade, and 2 days where I didn't trade. So just depends what presents. Steve, that's what you're hoping? Nice one. Just what the market offers. I don't force anything. I'm prepared to sit here and not trade. Right now we could be getting a trade though. Let's see. Not right now, I mean after the closure of this candle. Sean asked you in last stream if you believe in divergences, if you think they work or not, but then something happened and are working. But I mean, divergences is just, for me, I've just rejection of support resistance. I mean, they happen at certain levels. I look for, yeah, look, it happens. I look for my catalyst in price action. So again, I just keep it simple. Support, resistance, supply, demand, whatever you like to call it. And if you get divergence at that level, so be it. But I just focus on me, man. I don't really care about all that stuff, to be honest. No, it's flipping now. It's all good. I'm not chasing it. Just want to wait and see where his candle closes. Still could potentially look for a buy on the following candle. Apologies. So right now what I'm doing is below, I'm just putting in a potential stop loss below the current candle. I'm just honing in, or I'm focused on the high of the current candle, which is 950 on IC markets. And what I'm thinking is, we'll look for buys as long as I want London Open to create a bit of low wick, and if it begins to break above this candle's high, that could be a buy option. Stop loss below the current M30, and you can manage it. If it creates the low wick and bounces off potentially this blue zone, as soon as you trigger it in, you could manage your stop loss based off that. So I'm just watching to see how this closes. I wanted to close a weak bearish candle at this stage. If it closes bullish, we got bullish engulfing 15, so that could also provide the option for a buy. So basically the focus is for a buy at this stage. Now London Open, it may not create that low wick, because you've grabbed liquidity from this range below now twice on the 15-minute. Only to pop back above it, it could just pop up. I would feel more comfortable though seeing it's London Open to let it create a bit of a wick in the opposite direction first. What is the high now? Alright, so I might look for an entry 1.5 pips above this candle's high. Count a bit for spread. On the next candle, obviously. Alright, and it's creating a high just now. Discount closes as is. I'm looking for a potential entry at 191.965. Want to create a bit of a low wick. All right, good. Tapped into that blue zone yet again. All right, I'm prepared to now enter a buy stop order. Stop loss below the 30. 565 is my potential entry. And that's what I'm looking at just now. So we'll see. Sean, it's the way forward. It always, if your losses are smaller than your wins, don't matter how big small your account is, always growing in the long run. Correct. You can outweigh your losses with a win, or you always end up in profit. Need 672 pounds to pass the first base. Nice one. So we'll see. I like how it's bouncing off this zone. It's taken best part of a minute and almost a minute and a half just now. Almost in. Not just yet, not quite. Not in. Very close, but not triggered in. Another little confluence on the 5 minute, which is looking good. So we'll see if we get triggered in. Mr. Tony Lyons, hope you're well, brother. Good to see you. Good morning to you. How did gold close? So that's support, so nothing for me on gold. See how price reacts to this level now on gold. Steve, I'm in on the drive, but don't trust it, so go on break even. Oh, on Nas. Oh, okay. Nice one. Yeah, I'd be at break even because it could pull back. It's got no lower wick as well. Nice one. Good to see you guys are executing upon your plan, so well done. This is good. JJ spent the best part of 3 minutes at 3.25 minutes. Ran its low wick. Let's see, it's broken out of the previous candle. High, low, high, high. Break our own high again. We're probably going to get triggered in. Should be right. Yeah, it's a level of concern. All right, I'm in. Now what you can do is, if price comes back down to its own low, you could even cut the full thing because it really should not do so. It has a high, low, high, high to the previous. Or if it breaks its own low, you can cut 50% and manage it that way. But we'll see. Again, I'm not going on big risk because it is first trade of the week. a little bit of indecision on the 5 minute. Franco in also. Yeah, we'll see. The rejection. A bit of rejection. You're in, Sean? As long as it ticks the box for you, and as long as you're not just copy trade. That's why I stress, guys. Makes sense for you, by all means, take the trade. All bouncing. Gaming. What about gold? Bouncing off support. Nothing for me just now on gold. It's just within this narrow range. There's nothing at the moment. Right, I want GJ to remain above this blue zone and may wait for 15 minutes. We want it to respect this blue zone. We don't want it to start popping below it. So it's twice we pulled back to that blue zone, so should grab some liquidity. If we are to continue bullish now, break our own high, it's likely to make the move. There's a few ways you can go about this. If you want to wait for the 15 minutes to close half, or you can even close the full thing if you really want to be conservative. All it means it breaks its own low yet again. It's like I'm going to pull back further, like it's doing now. But I've still got the full position in. I'm running a smaller position size than normal, seeing as the first trade of the week. Look at this level right now. All right, I'm likely going to close half. Whoop. Yeah, I've closed half. Don't like this pullback at all, guys. I think I'm going to close it. I'm done. Minus 14. I don't like that pullback. It should respect this blue zone. I'm not going to, again, I get stubborn in drawdown. I don't like drawdown. Yeah, for me it's pulled back a little bit too far. I'm not trusting anymore. You guys want to hold, by all means I'd wait for 15-minute maybe to close. If it remains above that blue zone, it could be worth holding on, but at the moment London open volume should have driven, I feel. We've retested that zone multiple times on the lower time frames. We really should have just bounced off it. No need just to pop below it. So it is what it is. Yeah, 15 consolidation, and right now, pretty much. Oh well, not a great way to start the week, but well managed once again. Where is it? Minus, pretty sure it was minus 10 the first 50%. So minus 14. There we go. Not hiding behind it, and look, could be maybe it's a too early exit, I'm not sure, but that's how I've chosen to roll with it. So yeah, all good, but I can help you guys manage it if you're staying in it. Your next best bet to manage it is probably waiting for the 15 and see how that closes. Steve, still win if you manage to trade, or still part of trade. Yeah, well, it's important, I feel. It's like I mentioned, I get really stubborn in drawdown. I don't like it. I really don't like drawdown. When I take my trades, I'm taking it with anticipation that it's going to have minimal drawdown. So if it does go into drawdown, I rather manage it instead of holding on to let it hit the full stop loss. That's me personally. I know some others will hold on, and that's fine because a lot of time will work for them. But then when they take, on the other hand, they take a loss, wow, some of those losses are huge. 265, not 265, would have been below the 30, this previous 30-minute candle. It's not clear. Adjust the settings. You're probably on, like, I don't know, one of the lowest settings. Adjust it. You should be able to watch in full HD. So it's moving inversely to gold right now. Yeah, if it breaks its own high, then I think it will continue to the upside. So 15, how that close? Yeah, it is looking like consolidation, in my opinion, the 15 right now. Hansberg? Maybe, yeah, possibly. Well, that's it. Keeps him in the game longer. So it could be a re-entry just above. Just above the entry candle's high. We continue to close above that level and break our own high. And once again, the only one real way we can head, and that is likely to be to the upside. We start closing below it, and then we're likely going to head back down further. And I feel it wasn't a bad entry, in all honesty. It ticks the box in accordance to my plan, so here's what it is. You're not going to win every trade. Volume appears to have died on GJ right now. It's starting to look alright if anyone's still in it. I think re-entry makes perfect sense as well. That was the thumbnail, guys, on the recap video. I enjoyed making that one, actually. Anyone notice the little spaceman grabbing onto the rocket? I thought it was pretty funny. Just waiting for a comment. Didn't come. It was 191.976. It was a little bit lower down. 6.5. So you'd be about roughly 4 pip drawdown right now. All good. Thank you for this up. Let's take a look. What's going on in the 15? So 15 sends some pretty clean traffic as well. Still remaining on the top end of that blue zone, not back up. I mean, now popping above it, but the closure of the previous candle. So I still feel as long as we respect this blue zone and begin to break above that previous candle's high, it's likely going to head to the upside. About 5 minute. 5 minutes create some high lows, or create equal highs, sorry. Create high lows though, equal highs, high lows. So if it begins to now create a high. Again, I feel like it still could be valid. You rejection of that zone I spoke about. What's GU up to? Also rejecting. Gold could almost be providing a catalyst, but it's just not clean. What you might get now on gold is 15-minute bullish engulfing candle. It's going to close the M30 bullish candle for long wick to the downside, grabbing liquidity from this support. Then on the following candle, as it begins to break the high of the current, which will be the previous, it should continue to the upside. It's whether or not you've got enough margin. Stop loss could be an issue. It looks like it will be an issue. Off 30 to 60, over 60 pips off the 15. You'd be looking at above that bearish candle size, so you'd be looking at 40 plus pips, and likely more because this thing is still 7.5 minutes for it to push. I mean, yeah, gold could potentially provide an option. What was the initial stop loss in GJ? I think it was 23 or so pips, so I pretty much cut it by half. So once again, just to recap, I'm not currently in this trade anymore. I would consider a buy though, if it breaks zone high yet again, as long as we remain above this zone. Gold. Potential. Thank you for the sub. Yeah, I think the focus will now be gold. .30-minute is tapping into this though to the left. 15 looks a lot better though, especially if you get that bullish engulfing candle just now. So it has to close above the high of the bearish candle. Let's see. And we know there's every chance with the volume with gold that it could just make a move within this very candle. but not interested in anything impulsive. I'm just waiting for just over 4 minutes to see where his counter closes. Some nice movement within price action on the 5 minute. You got a closure above the most recent resistance. So see where his 15 closes, see when he 30 closes. Once again, guys, I'll let you know as soon as I'm contemplating putting the order in, if I do. But what I am personally doing is just tracking the high of the current M15, and I want it to close pretty much engulfing. I want the 30 to close up near its high. So even as is, or just above the high of the previous candle is even better, without making a move in the next 2 minutes. And I'm just going to wait for it. Doesn't have to make a low wick. Seeing it will close with long wick to the downside, you could argue it's grab liquidity within current candle. New candle could likely just do this. That scenario where it just begins to pop straight up without creating a low wick and then pull back eventually. So at that point there, it might resemble something like this, where you've got a long wick to the upside, then it might briefly pull back to create low wick. But I probably at this stage rather it actually create just a bit of a low wick, just to make me feel a little bit more comfortable in a position. Once again, GJ above the current candle's high. 30 minutes about to close. It's just consolidating. I think GJ now probably it should still make the move if it breaks its own high, but you're probably best to wait for a move out of the consolidation, unless in the next 50 seconds this candle closes right up near the actual 30-minute high, this 15-minute. And that could be a catalyst. So who knows, maybe GJ, the way gold is pulling back, I'm not interested if it does end up closing this way, because it's not a strong enough bullish candle in my opinion. It may not even close back bullish. Franco, GJ buys second chance. At this rate, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, I think GJ buys looking probably better than gold right now. How long left? Done at 10 seconds. Yeah, gold is not gonna provide. Yeah, GJ buys do make sense. Outly breaking its own high again. At a confluence, spent 30 minutes creating a low wick, bouncing off this zone. This GJ buys above look pretty good. For those who are interested, I'm not in anything just yet. Yeah, if you're looking for a re-entry, you probably want to look for that a little bit above the high to account for spread. Always allow for like at least a pip and a half. Pip to a pip and a half. Just don't understand why we keep pulling back. We've retested this zone multiple times and closed above it. There really is no need to continue to pull back to it. So if this candle closes back within a consolidation, then I think probably best to ride GJ off and just wait, let it create a move. So if I was looking for a re-entry, I'm looking for it around 8.8. 8.8 exactly. Always leave that little bit of space to account for spread. I mean, what a push though throughout the day. London could just fizzle out to be nothing. It's already pushed how far from the lows since session open. Let's lock this in. That's so that's it. Technically, this is the open for the new weekly candle. Pushed 166 pips. Wow. It's a significant move. It's pretty much retraced that whole move from Friday. From yeah, Friday. It was a massive move, wasn't it? Steve, I think on Nas it's going to go 4-hour flip, then flip the daily. What do you think? Nas? Let me have a look. Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it could potentially do so. So, I mean, the 4-hour still got an hour and a half. So my plan would be the exact same as per the start of the stream, where we've got this support in 15-minute, and if it starts to actually close below, create a bit of a low, then it should be good for continuation downside. So maybe let the 4-hour create its low wick. Looks like it hasn't done so. Yeah, well, it has obviously, but look for it, let it break its own low, and then start to close below it. I feel it's likely going to head back down. It could eventually test 18.0661, that sort of level. It's showing signs of rejection. I mean, the hourly as well. Pretty significant level it's at. John, all good. Just housing, grey mines. Nice one. I know, man. Agony on GJ. This is Just not interested in doing anything. Pull straight back every time. Looks like it might make a move. Just pull straight back into the middle. DJ playing games as it often does. Strange boy on GJ and Naz, both playing games, Steve. Yeah, well, both. Well, that GJ, I mean, was really good throughout the day. But both have made some decent moves by the looks of it, but at the moment, and Naz not so much of a move, but pretty not bad also considering during the Asian session. It's made a fairly significant move from these lows since market open. But yeah, it's a little bit indecisive. And once again, it could be to do with this level on the line chart. Pretty strong level. Had some kung pao chicken yesterday night. Feeling terrible now. I feel sorry for you, my friend. What is that? What is that? Is that Vietnamese or? Show you I was asleep, man, Steve. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't always be on the charts when it makes the moves. Loyalty family, GJ on 4 hours reacting on the 71 fit retracement. Highly likely to revert to downside from here. Okay. If that's the confidence you have, I respect it. Yeah, for reversal, I want it to pop up a little bit higher. Vietnamese. Or whatever it is. Gung in Thai is shrimp, so I'm not sure if it's the same meaning in Vietnamese. It's totally different languages. Vietnamese is, wow, that's really tonal. Thai is very, I don't know, when a girl speaks, it's really cute. So A.C.T said if Asian session has impulsive moves, London is just going to range after. Possibly, that's something I may have picked up on. again, often what I find on NAS, more so probably in particular, gold even a bit. Asian session will make a move in one direction, might not necessarily trend, but it'll obviously generally make a move up, down. London may reverse a bit of that or consolidate a bit. Not always. Makes big moves as well, obviously. A lot of volume. Highest volume session in the markets. And why a lot of time will follow on in the same direction as the Asian session. But sometimes you'll have black swan events. Sometimes you have catalysts. Sometimes you have news. And it will do absolutely whatever it wants to do. Sharif, I wish you best, my friend. I hope you feel better. Steve, gonna have one more go on NAS barcode, then I will leave it until York. Okay. So you're looking for a similar thing? Yeah, I think the barcode load is just a little bit higher up now. Yeah, guys, I'm not even bothering GJ. Forget this. I'm not gonna look for an entry. It just keeps pulling back. It has no reason to pull back if it wants to make the move. It could reject, but for me, still the sells aren't really going to necessarily come until we start getting some closures below 191, 760 at this stage. I'd rather miss it. So, see where gold closes. Franco, I think if GJ breaks zone high again, we can see a nice push. But yeah, I think it will too, but I just don't like how it keeps pulling back as it is doing. It stays above this level. Holds back up. Looks like it's about to break. And then just shits the bed again, comes back down. And it could be because it is overextended. It could be because it's at a level like Lonely Family mentioned. I mean, I'm looking to the left and seeing it is technically you've got some previous levels of support here. That could be rejecting that. I mean, no one knows, but yeah, all I can go off is what my catalysts are and what, you know, where I want to get involved in a trade. Look for my again, my catalyst within price action to enter. And if I get that, that's all I do, I enter. If not, all good. Once again, knowing that I do manage trades in a drawdown, never take full loss. I should be on the right side of things more often than not, so. Akan trader, sell price is higher, GJ. As in, to sell it from higher up. Yeah, I would have liked to tap into 192.10 and look for sales from that level, but it's pulling up right now. So just under 15 minutes, 14.5 minutes left. This candle is engulfing the previous. Will it start to close below now? The hourly has flipped back bearish. Starting to pop back below support to the left hand side. One issue though would be stop loss. It's likely going to be a pretty big one, unless you to use the 15. Isn't great. I mean, if you're entering trades based off the 30-minute, and what you really should be doing is placing stop loss. You're going to sell above the previous M30, or if you're going to buy below the previous M30. Darling, have I tried Vietnamese food? Of course I have. I actually like it. It's good. It's good. I think a lot of it's probably healthier than Thai food, to be honest. They make a good soup, but so do the Thais. They make some cracking soups. I'm not talking about tom yum. I'm not even a fan of it, to be honest. There's another soup with brown broth they make is so good, really good. It's brown because I think they use either chicken blood or cow blood. I think it's chicken blood. That's what makes it brown, but don't knock it. It sounds horrible, but it tastes so good. And to be honest, most of the foreigners that order it would never even know what's in it. They would not have no idea. They just think it's that color because of the sauce or whatever they put in it. I have no idea, but I will not know, I'm sure. All right, what's gold up to? So gold's consolidating. I mean, normally this is a good thing. What I'd be waiting for on gold is earth bullish engulfing, because you're consolidating at support. You get that bullish engulfing. Once again, you're gonna have a candle closing back bullish with on the M30 now. I'm talking about with long wick to the downside. It would be closing up near its high, potentially up near the high of the previous candle, and that would be a catalyst to look for the buy. But if it closes a weak bullish candle, then what we're gonna have is a bearish candle closing the M30, and for me that means there's still absolutely no confluence to take an entry on it. Silent. Not gonna disagree. Considering doing a MY session tomorrow, Wednesday. I don't think I can do it now, Wednesday. Tomorrow I could be a little bit too stuffed to do it because I'm up really early of a morning on Tuesday. Wednesday relatively early, but I may start doing the occasional MY on YouTube for the time being. Once the Discord opens up, it'll just be private Discord, guys. Alright, it's all about waiting for this candle to close, and let's see where we're at. If there is to be another chance. If not, is what is. We will reassess and plan ahead for potentially into pre-MY what we can come up with. Silent, the higher time frames control the rest. 1 hour breaking previous lows and 4 hour bearishing off. I definitely agree. The higher time frames, they hold a lot more priority than the minor time frames. It's within the higher time frames on the minor time frames where I look for my entries. So I'm more concerned about by the level we're at. So yes, the hourly is closing bearish at this stage, but I mean, let's just mark in the open of it and go back to the 15 and see if my thesis is correct, and that proves it just there. So why I want the bullish engulfing? First of all, it gives you a bounce off that level. For me, it also signals potentially wiping out the sellers in the previous candle. Especially now we've got a lower low to the previous candle. We have no need to pull back, break our own high, close above the previous candle's body or high. And it's also going to flip and close the hourly back bullish as well at support. So that just ties in and adds further confluence for potential buys from this level. But again, still got a lot of work to do to get to that point in just over 8 minutes. So At this rate, it doesn't look like it will. I mean, the 4-hour coming back down, it's rejecting previous resistance once again here to the left, essentially creating a lower high just now. Been a slow London session, hasn't it? Just we're pretty much back where we are, just a little bit lower down. I mean, gold's just stuck at that support. What else? Really not a great deal of volume. I mean, it's not trending in any real direction, anything at the moment. Could be waiting for news to come. EU is stuck at this resistance. BJ, very similar to GJ. I think you can almost move that now. Nas trying to remain above that resistance. Tough one. Nothing's moving. Silent, you're already in a gold sell trade, day trade, based off the hour and 4-hour. The 4-hour creating resistance. It needs to come and touch the 50 MA for liquidity. Sounds like a good plan. So you've executed upon it. Well done. So what's the 50 MA at? Is it near this support? I'm assuming 2340, 44, 42, that sort of level. Account trader stream. Well, generally I start the stream around, what is it, 6:30 a.m. UK time. However, Tuesdays and Fridays I have something else that I need to attend to, so I have to start streaming a little bit later. I don't start until about 7:30. So I always start before London Open, either way. So generally Monday, Wednesday, Thursday around 6:30 a.m. Tuesday and Friday at about 7:30, 7:20, 7:30, 7:40, just whenever I can, to be honest. As I mentioned, I've got a family business in the background, so it requires my attention on Tuesday and Friday afternoons. I have no other way. I have to do it. So silent goal lows to 50 MA. It's close to that. Oh, okay. Wonder if I could start swing trading again, along with the scalping. I would never stop scalping, but I mean, look for longer term entries as well, just purely based off the 4-hour, maybe using the hourly as the catalyst instead of the 30-minute or 15. Focused in on more of the higher time frames. Yeah, I don't know what's to do with GJ in all honesty, because now it should continue up 3 weeks to the downside, and we're back above this yet again. It's likely gonna pop up, but I mean, it should have gone already. Your stop loss would be about 21, 22 pips. The hourly, how's that going to close? It would need to close up near its high. I'm watching make the move now in the last 2 minutes, 2 and a bit minutes. Franco on gold, we also an open gap, right? A daily, weekly FX open. Yeah, I've got a gap too on my broker. Look at GJ make the move now. Not in this, guys. If I was to contemplate anything, I would have waited for this candle to close. This is a nasty candle, honestly. That's all good. If you are in it, nice one. Just be careful of the potential for the low wick to pull back yet again. It really doesn't need to really do so, to be honest. It could just pop up. Once again, we've grabbed liquidity from that range below 3 times already. Now we've broken again. What we should do on the new candle is just pop straight up. Not much margin. Still valid, but you've got to bear in mind, you got a wide stop loss. Gonna be a nice strong engulfing candle. Yeah, see, it's popped straight up, and that's to be expected. Because you could argue that's the margin we didn't have within that previous candle. It's likely to pop up, then it could pull back to create slow wick. It's tough to get involved and trust that. It really is. But I understand why it could just pop. From experience being on charts for so long, seeing this happen, it may pop to get to 10, 15 pips, it may pop up 3, 4 pips and then pull back to create slow wick. So I've been back to some gold. It's a good way to stay ahead. Here it goes. Once again, so your analysis plays out. Just not what I want to see. All right. So what would I want to see moving forward? Anyone take it, by the way. Gold continues to close bearish. So for me, there's nothing on gold as well. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. First of all, gold. So obviously we've got some high impact news to come. Just be wary of that. Personally, I will not be trading into it. I would probably not even trade 30 minutes prior to it. Wait for it to settle down a bit, moving in afterwards, after the release. All right, so again, we're at support. What I want to see is a little bit what we're doing now, a bit of consolidation at support, and then as soon as we start to pop above it, close above it, I want to see a nice strong closure in the M30 back bullish. If you can add that and correlate with the 15 closing above the resistance. So once again, I still want a 30 minutes close back bullish. So I still think roughly around that 23.54 could be some decent sort of entries. 23.55. Buy it from the support. Otherwise, let it do its thing. I mean, the sells, if it pops back down to this level and then maybe makes a bit of a pullback, so at 2,348 so level, makes a little bit of a bounce off it, grab some more orders and starts to close back below it around that 2,348 level. Then I think it could be some sell options, take it back down to 2,342. Further sells upon the pullback. I mean, we've got resistance now formed within the current daily candle at 23.61. So if it does pull back, only to reject, there could be some sell options from that point there. GJ's made the move finally. Maybe some of you are still in it. If you are, well done. So now I'll just be simply waiting to see how price reacts to this zone. It's a big zone, it's a 4-hour zone. So again, creates a bit of structure, creates the high, creates a low, either an equal high, lower high, could even create a high. But I'd wait for it to actually start creating some lower lows, start to flip the micro trend, back out the resistance. And that's, you guys get the picture. It's a wonky arrow. And that's where I start, that's when I start to look for sells. Sells from higher up within the resistance, that could be the option. One candle will not suffice at this level. It's been in such a big uptrend throughout the day, and we've retraced the whole of that move from Friday. So now you just need to be patient, wait for similar to what we had just here to the left. We start to pop below support, there could be an option similar to what we had here, a little bit higher up, even a little bit lower down. That's what I'll be waiting for moving forward on GJ. I can't. Yeah, that's the level I want to sell it from, but I wouldn't just sell it now. Steve, all good. Appreciate you. Thank you for your attendance. Everyone else, same. Thank you to everyone who's trading away as well. I'll be careful with new 4-hour candle. So is that on GJ or gold? So, I mean, for GJ, if it creates a slow wick, and within it, it forms to support that level, maybe even breaks the high of the previous, then you just be looking for potential sells as price starts to pop below its support, which will be the low wick of the 4-hour. If it has a high low, has no need to pull back down and create a lower low already on the 4-hour. So, I mean, seeing it's already created that lower wick, has no need to pull back and create a lower low again. So that could be the sell option, but again, it's one of those ones that, like this candle closure there, that liquidity candle, like I said, likely going to pop, and it's not going to give you that low wick. Just whether you trust it or not, it is what it is. Steve, welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, so to everyone else, yeah, thank you. Hope you had a good day. Small in the end, pretty small loss on my regard. 0.7 0.78 to be exact. So not too much, nothing too significant. I can easily get that back. Once again, moving forward, I will try. I'm not sure if I'll do the MY update today, guys. I'm absolutely buggered, to be honest. I've got a bit to do before I hit the sack as well. So if I get it done in time, I will do an MY update. May just be a quick one. And what else? Make sure you hit the like button. Do watch the recap video if you have not done so yet. It's a good one, it really is. So it's the thumbnail, enjoy it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at about 7:30, roughly 7:30 a.m. I will be here, nonetheless, a little bit late, but I will be here. No problem, Franco. Alrighty, guys, take care, trade safe, and I shall see you guys tomorrow. Cheers. Bye for now, my friends.